There will now be an opportunity. Order, honorable members, the secretary will read the order.
Debate on vote number 30, Science and Technology.
I will now invite the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology to open the debate.
Magwaza Msibi, Chairperson of Public Entity Boards and Councils, CEOs of public entities, Vice Chancellors, Deputy Vice Chancellors for Research, Research Chairs, Ambassadors, traditional leaders who are with us here today, Hosi Mwinga, Hosi Nwamitwa, Hosi Ngobe, partners and guests, ladies and gentlemen, Ninhlikale. Today, the Department of Science and Technology honors the centenary of one of the greatest daughters of the African soil by presenting its budget vote under the theme, Advancing the Legacy of Mama Albert Sisulu through People-Centered Science and Technology. We are honored to have a representative of the Sisulu family amongst our midst, Ms. Nontsikelelo Sisulu Singapi in the gallery of South Africa. As a leader and a mother, Mama Sisulu made it her mission to that the land would be shared by all who live in it, black and white. One of the few women to be present at the founding of the ANC Youth League in September 1944. Mama Sisulu was a founder member of the Federation of South African Women and a member of the ANC Women's League from 1955. As well as co-president of the United. Mama Sisulu was further present at the adoption of the Freedom Charter. We are confident that the initiative will allow many more to take up careers in science, technology, and innovation. We are also to focus the results of their learning on making people's lives better. Decades of commitment to the Albertina Sisulu for the towering figure of the liberation of our struggle. The late Mama Winnie Madikizela Mandela, former deputy, ever grateful to these giants. Honorable members, science, technology, and innovation are fundamental not only to achieving the goals of the National Development Plan, but also for implementing the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development adopted by UN member states in 2015. If we are to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to set out in the agenda, if we are to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set out in the agenda, we need to galvanize science, technology, and innovation across all with Future Earth, the National Research Foundation, and start on a conference starting tomorrow in Port Elizabeth that will be focusing on the role of Science Research Council. In marking this milestone, we encourage the HSRC to go further in its mandate to promote research that improves our understanding of social conditions and the process of social change. Another anniversary to celebrate this year is the 20th year of the Laurel UNESCO for Women in Science program. This prestigious Children's Hospital, Professor Zam, who is with us in the gallery today, was recognized for nanoscience and nanotechnology. In 2017, both honorable members, in 1994, we inherited a fractured society, a fiscally drained state, and an unsustainable, resource-intensive economic growth path. The pre-1994 science and technology system was small, exclusive, and tailored to the apartheid agenda rather than orientated towards inclusive development and social equity. Over the past 2 decades, we have made meaningful progress with the introduction of the White Paper on Science and Technology and related policy documents, such as the National Research and Development Strategy and a 10-year innovation plan aimed for this country. As we mark 24 years of our freedom and democracy, despite the employment figure was 27.7%, and youth unemployment was at 38.6%, leaving many young people on the margins of society. Accords science, technology, and innovation to accords science, technology, and innovation a central role in this struggle. Our national system of innovation growth. Honorable members, while we have created and maintained an enabling policy environment for over to maintenance of existing firms and supporting new technology-based firms, modernizing existing industries such as agriculture and mining, while developing emerging industries, and through all of this, improving the quality of life of our people. It is against this background, science, technology, and innovation are vital for shaping an inclusive and sustainable South African society. The draft white paper seeks, amongst other things, to take advantage of the opportunities government department as we prepare our response to the fourth industrial revolution and the opportunities it brings for us. Through the paper, we aim to expand on what has worked and where necessary, to propose new approaches, and this will include strengthening and transforming institutions, increasing funding, and expanding human capabilities. Most importantly, however, the white paper recognizes that inclusivity is central to the national system of Tuli, the first African Nobel Peace Laureate, who remarked, I quote, "Scientific inventions at all levels should rapidly changing, and countries are grappling with how to use scientific advances to meet new challenges and build resilience. As a country entering a new dawn, we should embrace the potential of science, technology, and innovation to help us seize the opportunities and ameliorate the risks that arise in an increasingly interconnected and globalized environment. This financial year is the fourth of the Department of Science and Technology's 5-year strategic outcomes set out in the strategic plan. Among other developments, honorable members, we have secured cabinet approval for a sovereign innovation fund as a strategic public-private partnership to enhance investment levels further along the innovation chain. And we are working with the National Treasury and the Department of Trade and Industry, small development characterized by low levels of growth and competing priorities for public funding. It is unlikely that we will reach the MTSF target. Research and development has grown steadily since 1996, placing our country ahead of emerging economies such as Chile and Turkey. Chairperson, if we are to fulfill the ambitions of the new white paper on science and technology and innovation and address the priorities set out in the National Development Plan, adequate funding for research and development, and you can see their economies as a reflection on the investment they've made in their research and development. A key imperative of the department remains transformation. There's a need to diversify opportunities for the youth through technology-based youth entrepreneurship and SME development, to grow and develop the research cohort to be representative of the country's demographic. Plan to finalize amendments to the National Research Foundation Act, and I know honorable members know that the bill is on Science and Technology. We are pleased to announce that we have reached a major milestone with the completion of the 64-dish radio telescope projected originally in 2007 and 8. The meerkat has been declared a national key point to protect this investment. The expenditure on the SKA project thus far has been 4.4 billion. This expenditure includes the 3.2 billion rands for the meerkat, as well as land acquisition, the resurfacing of 80 kilometers of roads to the site, the construction of 110 kilometers of power lines, and the meerkat data center, as well as the precursor Karoo Array Telescope, and human capital development for the wider square kilometer array project. I'm happy to announce, honorable members, that the project will be launched by Mr. President Ramaphosa in July 2018. We will be communicating the actual date in due course. Honorable members, it's important to note that Ghana recently became fully launched by the President of Ghana on 24th, our other big astronomy investment in South African Latin, when for the first time in global astronomy, both gravitational waves and electromagnetic radiation were observed from the same source. Honorable members, since 2005, we have provided 961 grants, bursary fellowship, as part of our quest to grow the pipeline from undergraduate degrees. Will award an additional 700 grants, bursaries, and fellowships. Astronomy, like other fields of science today, require massive computing in academia and industry. The facility was rated first in Africa and the 127th in the world in the top 500 list announced during the International Supercomputing Conference in Germany last year. Last year, the department also announced initiatives aimed at supporting an increasing number of postgraduate students, promoting the growth and transformation of knowledge workers in our system, and facilitated both increased knowledge production and better exploited of knowledge of development. In pursuit of our NDP target of 100 PhDs per million of the population by 2030, we reached the milestone of 50 PhDs per million, 2013 ministerial guidelines. In addition, 897 fellowships were awarded to postdoctoral researchers. Over the 5-year period, we continue to instruments. The DS celebrate Mama Sisulu Centenary. We are driving various initiatives aimed at addressing poverty, inequality, and unemployment. This includes initiatives aimed at transforming society in the areas of children's rights, child support, and youth empowerment on the basis of research findings from our centers of excellence. I'm pleased to report that in 2017-18 financial year, we enrolled 622 interns through the DST NRF internship program. These interns were placed at host institutions throughout the country to be guided and trained by experienced mentoring between the National Research Foundations, Itemba Labs, and Botswana International University of Science and Technology. Our South African Council for Natural Scientific Professions is emerging as a key partner in the evaluation of critical skills in the natural sciences. SAGNA has been engaged to assist the Department of Home Affairs with evaluation, and these services have been extended to Department of Environmental Affairs, Public Works, and Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries. Last year, the institution experienced healthy growth with 2000 and the long-term direction of this initiative with regard to the commercialization of the technology towards the 4th industrial revolution. Let me just table the budget on a percent of the transfers and subsidies in the form of parliamentary grants. The Parliament grant 120 million, the grant 120 million, the Academy of Science of South Africa is allocated 25.7 million. The National Research Foundation is allocated 900 to our research, development, and support program to support our. And furthermore, honorable members, I need broadband network connectivity and high-performance computing to improve our cyber infrastructure, 25.6 million to continue building, transforming the Academy of Science of South Africa. We'll continue to find expression in our work as we look towards implementing the National Development Plan and looking and taking the opportunity for ensuring that our new white paper is able to assist us. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Deputy Minister, Honorable Zanele Kamagwaza Msibi, for a continued support and love, Honorable Minister Pando for ensuring the department's excellent progress foundation that we are seeing today. The Portfolio Committee led by Honorable Maseko for their support, the Director General together with the DDGs and the entire staff for their continued support and knowledge in assisting us, Let me thank the family, my family that is here with me today in the gallery. Both my mother, my sister, and my husband are here with us. I'd like to thank them for the invaluable support and conditional love. I'd like to thank the team in the ministry for their support and the entire sector that has welcomed me as the new Minister of Science and Technology with warm hearts. I hereby table the budget and annual plans for the Department of Science and Technology for your consideration and support. Nakens.
Again, Santonisha. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I just want to really acknowledge the presence of our guests in the gallery. And having said that, say to you, I'm very sorry that the rules of the national are clapping of hands. And my apologies for that, but those are the rules. Even usage of cameras is not allowed.
Thank you very much, House Chairperson, Minister of Science, Technology, ministers here present, members of Science and Technology. Good afternoon. Annual performance plans and of its entity, of the department and its entity. Acknowledge the statement of the Constitutional White Paper on Science and Technology, which hence the department supports the NSI by coordinating the development programs on spending on goods and services and on the baseline budget of the department and entities. The Minister of Finance responded to the committee's 2017 budget review and recommendation report request for additional funds for STI as follows, I quote, allocation grows at an annual average rate of 4.8%. Over the funded to deliver on their mandate, given the yearly application of the National Treasury to retain surplus. Minister of Finance, and being cognizant of the fiscal constraint, responds as follows. The APPs of the department and its entities states that their performance delivery has been structured around the budgets that have been allocated to them and not according to all the responsibilities that they are mandated to fulfill. This has meant that STI mandate cannot be fully implemented at the current level. Much to fulfill government-specific mandates poses the risk that research and development focus may shift to the needs of the funder and away from the government's priorities. In concluding its deliberation on Budget Vote 30, Science and Technology, the committee noted the committee welcomed the reappointment of the Director General, Dr. Phil Mjwaha, having served the department for more than 15 years. The committee commends his commitment and is confident that his expertise will positively guide the department through the current financial crisis. Secondly, the committee commends the department and its entities for the work they do and for formulating coherent and its entities to align their activities to support regional and national plans and strategies to seek to seize of a new STI white paper, and the plans to formation of the human capacity in the STI sector is the creation and continued growth of a pipeline of students interested in pursuing careers in science, mathematics, and engineering. This can only be achieved it is crucial that STI be placed at the center of the work of government. For the NS to have an impact on the economy, it must be optimally resourced and coordinated. Therefore, the committee welcomed Cabinet's approval of the STI budget. Committee's extra C and CSI and retain highly skilled individuals, grow human capital and development programs, employ the student that the entities spend a lot of time training and supervising, maintain and acquire needed infrastructure, secure funding over the full lifetime of initiatives, all present serious challenges to attaining the goals set for the NSI by the NDP Vision 2030. The entities are constrained by a lack of adequate investment of researchers is compromised, as they are now required to undertake administrative tasks such as sourcing contracts and preparing tender documents for research funding. Entities are then also required to compete with organizations. Creating an enabling environment for innovative small and medium enterprises is crucial. Hence, the committee welcomes the efforts to establish a sovereign innovation fund, the development of a policy for government to produce 30% of its goods and services from South African companies, and the development of a policy to increase the uptake of locally manufactured products. Intergovernmental coordination and partnership are instrumental in ensuring that the work done by the department and the entities is used and implemented. These relationships are crucial to ensuring that cross-cutting activities are better coordinated and resources are not wasted. Enhanced coordination is also necessary at Parliament among the various portfolio and select committees in instances where science and technology issues are transversal. This especially relates to improving the access to science and mathematics education in the early childhood development phase, and the efforts and policies to create a more enabling environment for innovative small and medium enterprises. Awareness and understanding of science and knowledge, and knowing that South African STI institutions are doing, is key to stimulating and improving the public discourse around the advantages of the implementing a science policy for social well-being and economic growth. However, the program, government considering a process within current tender regulation that could assist public STI institutions with the required expertise to gain increased access to government research contracts that fall within their mandate to execute. The committee will schedule a briefing to facilitate discussion on this matter within the third term of the 2018 parliamentary program. Government considering mechanisms that will ensure that public STI institutions have greater and possibly preferential access to the 15.8 billion allocated in 2018-19 to innovation, science and technology across all government departments. The department and entity, in light of the funding crisis, find innovative ways to increase their efforts to be more visible to the public and drive the national dialogue on STI and its relevance to addressing critical national issues. And that the committee also asked the House to adopt the budget vote 30 of science and technology, that science is a multidisciplinary domain where several scientific domains such as engineering, biology, mechanisms, and others converge. Science research is conducted to solve many of our life challenges, and today, through this budget vote 30, members of the portfolio committee, as I said, shall demonstrate how science allows us to enjoy the privileges of medical care, industrial growth, human capital development, and small business support with technology solutions. And also in recognizing Mama Sisulu's centenary and her contribution in the health sector as a nurse, is that a healthy society is a productive society. President Ramaphosa, at his State of the Nation address, addressed key health issues such as HIV testing and treatment campaigns, cancer campaigns, and the National Health Insurance Bill, which will be processed and tabled in Parliament. South Africa will not. Photographers have been researched in science laboratories before they are introduced in hospitals. Those drugs and instruments have been developed by scientists together with their medical scientists and professionals. The more we invest in science, the more we ensure that we have all the tools to. So we believe that the vote 30 will.
Thank you, Chair. Minister approved budget reductions of 186 million. The government's blanket approach to budget cuts cannot be appeased, are severely affected by budget constraints. The science, technology and innovation, STI sector, has to attract and retain highly skilled individuals. There can be no growth, development, or even just maintenance skills and knowledge in an effort to provide the required capacity for the STI sector. However, the limited budget and the blanket cuts on salary budgets mean that they cannot. And critical to any country's success in STI is the maintenance and development in the country's. The nature of most of these initiatives is such that they often run over many years on the science and technology sector. The South African National Space Agency, SANSA, cannot fully meet its mandate. This includes global navigation satellite services and satellite telecommunication solutions and applications, as well as support to the local space industry. To make it more practical, they play an important role in space weather services and in our daily telecommunication on which we all rely. However, funding for the further development of the EOSat-1 has not yet been confirmed, and this results in inadequate support to the South African space industry and an inability to develop the necessary human capacity. Due to constrained finances, SANSA cannot employ more researchers. It also can't employ the students it trains. This leads to a loss of credibility, a loss of income, and a downgrade in the services offered. But the tragic part, Minister, is that SANSA is regarded and innovation is properly funded. Why is it that we have to have the same speeches on this vote year after year? STI has long been important drivers of economic growth and human development. This growth relies on research and development on local level as well as on an international scale. It is critical that even during periods of economic slowdown, STI continues to receive sufficient funding. As stated by the statement in 2017, growing levels of public and private investments in science and technology are needed to address the challenges of sustainable and inclusive growth, and that these benefits outweigh many short-term concerns for balancing public. In this regard, it became clear during the interactions with the different institutions that there was a recurring theme of a lack of science communication. The department and the institutions are doing excellent work and are making me. I think that this is an aspect that should be further explored. The department has funded 2 research chairs in science communication, but more needs to be done. Not only do we need to encourage the youth to become involved in science and technology with the aim to attract them to the field, but the general public have to understand and appreciate the critical role STI, hardly anyone knows anything about science and technology. Perhaps if there is a concerted effort and more emphasis placed on science communication.
Thank you, Chairperson. This budget is both insufficient and if previous thing to go by it, it will also not be used in a way that it should and could be. Firstly, the budget allocated to this department, once adjusted for inflation, has once again shrunk by 2.3%, similar to the 4.3% shrunk by last year. But linked to this continuing decrease in funding is a lack of vision and understanding of how technology and innovation are key to the industrialization and development of this country's economy, as well as finding solutions to the problems that face our country. Government needs to be supporting the likes of Melusin Tuli, a young innovator from KZN, who has developed an electric green engine, who despite attempts to get support from the department, is still sitting with his invention which cannot go into production. People like Mr. Ntuli could be developed and supported if government gave the necessary funding and direction to the Department for Research and Development in the diversify our economy and address the needs of our country. This would see our people gain the necessary skills and support so that we can be the South Korean car and technology industry were all developed. This will see us develop innovative new ways to address the problems facing our country, such as the drought, which will only continue to worsen and increasing the demands for energy. The department should increase its role in the beneficiation of our natural resources, and along with the higher education institutions, develop technology a culture around science and technology that will slowly create its own momentum and schools of thought, which is the most practical way in which we can decolonize the sciences and the technology industry. This can all be achieved if the state has a vision of an economically free South Africa and give.
Thank you, Doctor. The Honorable Sengwa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Minister, I heard it was your birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday. Honorable members of the House, well, there's the refrain, of course, that the answer is quite simple. We're dealing with the failures of ANC policy to grow the economy and make more money. If your policies were working, the economy would be making more money, and thus would be able to fund such a department. So that lamentation in good faith cannot come from the ANC, because we're in this mess because of you. The Department of Science and Technology seeks to boost socio-economic development in South Africa through research and innovation. To achieve this goal, the department provides leadership and enabling environment and resources for science, technology, and innovation, or at the very least, it says it's doing so. Chair, it's unimaginable that this department suffers neglect from the current cabinet. It is dismissed as a mere backbench portfolio, and its budget remains one of the lowest. However, science and technology plays a pivotal role, or rather should be playing this role in our country. Our ever-growing youth population strives and lives for new technology and innovation. This department, of course, has certainly been unable to incubate young people and to assist them develop the latest technological innovations in cutting-edge high technology for the purposes of economic growth and job creation. Insofar as South Africa's competitiveness within the BRICS nations is concerned, we fare rather miserably low. And the sentiment, of course, is that we are slow, we are far behind and backwards, and this needs to change if we are to compete favorably on the global stage. Although there are many examples of sterling work done, which we must applaud and commend that the department is driving, it is frustrating to note, though, that much of the work which should be done and can be done in this department is not being done, and yet again because there's just no budget and the ANC is unable to grow the economy. Chairperson, research and development is a strategic focus area for the Department of Science. In the spaces of science, energy, biotechnology, nanotechnology, robotics, photonics, and indigenous knowledge systems, and requires more funding and support to many who are financially needy, yet hold the required skills and to make a significant contribution in the above-mentioned field. Although R&D receives the biggest cut of this budget, and therefore we are pleased that it remains the backbone of this department, students are still begging for bursaries, and this, of course, is a concern. In terms of technology innovation, we are lagging far behind other countries in developing tech industries, which translates to jobs, as we are in infancy stages with regards to the much talked about fourth industrial revolution. Honorable Chairperson, we need to host less talk shops and see the technology open up and getting South Africans excited about science again. But most importantly, we need to see this department, its programs, its initiatives as a critical aspect of the initiatives of creating jobs. So we are, of course, Honorable Chairperson, as the IFP, supporting this budget vote because we believe that science and technology is a strategic component of South Africa's development, but doing it as we should. So we're not walking the talk. And until we actually walk our own talk, we'll come into this budget vote year in and year out, lament that there's no money in this country.
The Honorable Professor Kubisa.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Minister Kubai, that we are witnessing lately is the issue of gatekeeping, when our students have to pursue degrees, junior degrees and master's degrees or doctorate degrees in science and technology. I read a very painful story of a student in KwaZulu-Natal recently who graduated with a master's degree in science, that he would have graduated earlier, but he faced exploitation and abuse within the laboratory And were it not for the assistance and the support he got from friends and relatives, he would have not completed his studies. And that tells me that this is what was happening earlier on in the. We want to commend the department for the good work that it has done over the years. This has been a well-run department. We congratulate you for the good work. Now, the National Development Plan places high premium on STI, science, technology, and innovation. And it plays a crucial role in the socio-economic development and contributions that have been seen to be making a noticeable impact on poverty alleviation. South Africa must invest in research and development, and these must be closely linked to science, technology, and innovation, and the productive needs of industry and the country as a whole. Chairperson, whilst the National Freedom Party welcomes the increase of 233 million from 7.6 billion in the financial year 2017-2018 to 7.8 billion in 2018-19 financial year. I want to say that this is a drop in the ocean if we look at the huge task of human capital development, research development, knowledge creation, innovation, policy development, and many other tasks that this department has to perform. The country really needs innovators, scientists, technicians, mechanics, engineers, astronauts, pilots, etc. But I want to commend the entities of the department for using the transfers for intended needs and purposes. No corruption or fraud has ever haunted this department. But Chairperson, the basic responsibilities that the department must fulfill. I want to say that must vigorously market science and maths as subject that can be done and worth pursuing. Ensure that many boys and girls pursue technology, science, and institutions of higher learning. Market science, technology, and innovation in rural communities. Vigorously pursue the vision of engaging more students who have junior degrees in science and technology or innovation. That as of February 2018, the vacancy rate stood at 12.4%, secure funding over the lifetime period of initiatives. It is noted that the entities are constrained by lack of funding. Now, the NFP, of course, Chairperson, is concerned about the 20% decline in Program 4. The NRF promotes and supports research in all fields of science and promotes research funding through national research facilities and science engagement. The decrease of revenue from 5 billion in 2017-2017 financial to 3.4 billion in 2018-2019 financial to pursue innovation. I've alluded to the fact that most of the students are discouraged, but we thank the department for honoring women and the youth in excellence in science.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, our guests, protocol observed. Our President, His Excellency Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, in his State of Nation address, told us very clearly that as a nation, we need to develop capabilities in the areas of science, technology, and innovation. As the public representatives, we fully appreciate that our science and technology workforce should be the highest caliber in terms of national and international scientific norms. We really value the nature of this school of thought. However, we are also looking at how we could and should sharpen this dimension to further develop our people so we can find more, better, and faster solutions to our pervasive challenges of reducing poverty, unemployment, and crime, ultimately creating a better life for all South Africans. It is understood that one of the key drivers of the economy comes from increased funding and the important work encompassed in science and technology and innovation. In order to do this, we require the necessary human capital. A main pillar of Department of Science and Technology lies in contributing to the national priorities. The human capital development focus remains mission and poverty alleviation, because without this, will always be such as women, blacks, collaboration all among all institutions in the national system of innovation. In addition to this student, the CSI funds human capital development. The CSIR is also seeking to be part of a network of institutions on the African continent focusing on collaborative initiatives and human capital development. The CSIR runs a number of bursaries and internship programs for various sectors, helping to give interns work experience in various pilots by manufacturing plants and operating units. The growing partnership with the sectors are critical to skills development and addressing youth unemployment in the country, including people with disability. Don't forget that I'm disabled, so I'll talk for my family, you know. The NRF supports students mainly at postgraduate level in two different ways. The freestanding postgraduate level in two different ways. The freestanding scholarship and postdoctoral fellowships. The grant holder linked bursaries and postdoctoral fellowship, where a grant holder is awarded a number of bursaries and fellowships within his or her research grant. We appreciate that access to higher education in South Africa, collective efforts that create opportunities for exceptional young leaders to access program, especially in business development context, and this could have a bigger impact. There are a number of scholarships. This scholarships aims to address the shortage of qualified engineering. It was developed to support graduates looking for further studies in the science, engineering, and technology, as well as in the social science and humanity.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Vessels.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, which are exciting and which can solve such as new diseases, crucial, and departments in the economic cluster. Currently, research and development occur in silos. Inflation denotes, when taking inflation into account, a real decrease of 2 points, especially in terms of research and development, and should be addressed. Of the National Research Foundation and the Human Sciences Study, South Africa's grade 5s and 9s are among the lowest 5 in the world in maths and science. The department should President refers to it in his State of the Nation address. Many of focus, agbare voorsitter,
Your time
hou
has
op om
expired.
sondebokke vir die eie oneffektiewe regering te soek
Dankie, meneer.
en fokus op die toekoms. Ek dankie.
Dankie. The Honorable Misha. No, sorry, Honorable Madisha. First, yes.
Indicate that that which has been achieved is grown. Will I help you with that? But number 3, decade of bad and corrupted government demands upon government as a consequence of failing service delivery, rising unemployment, poverty, inequality, falling per capita income, we are faced with very serious problems. That is why the workers outside there are correct. Number 2, government is having to start the process to unite. To undo and reverse the damage done by the state, fiscals, and economy by the ruling party. 3, by amongst means having to implement broad austerity measures, fiscal consolidation, and cutbacks on expenditure. Nonetheless, COPE is on record as acknowledging the generally good claims that it has developed. And this we have said, of course, in the past. So, as we feel the impact of the 4th industrial revolution, As such, the department's plan over the medium term to focus on producing a new knowledge, generating
you.
and exploiting.
Thank you, Honorable Madisha. The time has expired. Thank you.
Should, especially if we are to improve our global competitiveness in this area. We also agree that if we are to see improved human capacity in this sector, the creation and continued growth of a pipeline of students interested in pursuing careers in science, mathematics, and engineering, as long as our education system fails to improve the quality of teaching in maths and science. From the worst ranked in the world the previous year to 100 in the teaching methods of maths, was able to change their world ranking for maths and science education from one of the lowest countries in the world to one of the highest. Singapore Maths is reputed to be one of the most successful nationals in the world, according to the trends. Naturally, teachers of these subjects must be qualified. It is unacceptable that so many of our children are being taught maths and science by teachers with little or no proper credentials. It is also concerning that some schools reportedly omit teaching mathematics altogether. The ACDB believes that maths and science should be compulsory subjects from primary school level if we are to address skills shortages in our country. The ACDB further believes that all media wants massive improvement when it comes to teaching maths and science so that they become attractive subjects of choice, must aim to inculcate innovative ways to use television as an excellent medium to address stereotypes and change children's innovative thinking, young women scientists, and what they contribute to society, and who in turn might become role models to young girls who are aspiring to become women scientists. The ACDP will support this vote.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The Honorable Tak.
I want to acknowledge the public in the gallery, the Minister, the Deputy Minister, honorable members, good afternoon. House Chairperson. In a 2016 report commissioned by the Small Enterprise Development Agency, several issues affecting SMMEs in South Africa have been highlighted from previous research studies. These issues include lack of access to finance and credit, inability to access markets, amongst others. We are pleased that the Department of Small Business Development, together with the European Union, has launched the SMME Support Program. The SMME Support Program will support SMMEs through business development services, assist them with access to markets, improve the access to finance, and help ease the inability for SMMEs to access research and development services. Building R&D capacities is important for small businesses as it can help determine the feasibility of transforming ideas into actual businesses. Investing in this aspect of business also allows businesses to access innovative solutions through the process of discovery. According to Mars, Trakunen and Smith, 1999, innovating firms are likely to grow faster than traditional startup businesses. They found South African SMMEs to be less innovative compared to those in developed countries. Boyson's 2011 suggests that innovation in South Africa is stifled by the failure of small businesses to form strong upward linkages with large firms. The Department of Science and Technology and its entities have several initiatives that are aimed at providing SMMEs with technology and research and development support. The DST, through the Technology Innovation Agency, TIA, has provided at Tshwane. I need my glasses. There's a full list of these University of Technology, Central University of Technology Durban, University of Technology Mangosuthu, Technicum Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, University of Johannesburg Vaal, University of Technology and Tshwane University of Technology. Now, we need a technology station at the Solplaatje University in order to serve that region. The DST also supports Gauteng's Innovation Hub, which focuses on fostering innovation, skills and entrepreneurship in smart industries, green technology, and biotechnology. The Innovation Hubs offer seed funding in collaboration with the DST's Technology Innovation Agency, TIA. Some of startups that have been funded are the Memesa Shout, an affordable alarm system that has been successfully deployed in Diepsloot Township, Porsche M Skin Solutions, which now employs over 30 young people at the Hub's Biopark. Pambili Media House, whose animations were used in some of the scenes in the film Kalushi. Afrocentric IP, which provides disaster recovery solutions, and water hygiene convenience, which offers a leak-free valve that has been retrofit to toilets in Garankuwa. Honorable members, this is Science saying to SMME, we are here to support you. We are here to uplift you. As much as we need more technology stations across all SMMEs are supported, will require, it needs to be increased because the more money we invest in research and development, the more we can support our SMMEs with technology support. This will ensure that our entrepreneurs are successful in their business ventures, and in turn they can employ more people, solving another issue of unemployment. The Department of Science and Technology, through its Innovation Partnerships for Rural Development Program, recently held a seminar in implementation of 5 to 5, was very small business incubation.
Thank you. The time has expired, Honorable
Thank
Member.
you. At that high note, the ANC supports this budget.
Thank you. The Honorable King.
Minister, Chairperson, officials from the Department of Science and Technology, colleagues and guests, unskilled, inexperienced, poorly educated, and otherwise disadvantaged individuals. According to Stats SA, approximately 13 million people are employed. 13 million people are employed, whilst roughly 9.4 million people in South Africa are either unemployed, discouraged about finding a job, and are considered underemployed. Technological innovation is taking place at an intense pace and is loaded as a game changer for humans. Technological innovation is disrupting almost every industry in the world. This is the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0. Technological advancements mean that humans, through digital intelligence, can simplify and achieve which was once complicated and impossible. The biggest problem in South Africa is that our leaders are stuck in a protectionist mode. Unions in South Africa is not engaging government and business on the issues of job security and skills development around Industry 4.0, losing the opportunity to become major players with regard to technological advancements in their respective industries. It is estimated that by 2030, at least 60% of occupations will be automated, meaning that globally 375 million people may need to change jobs or learn new skills. The World Economic Reports estimates that disruptive trends in the labor market could lead to a loss of 1.7 million jobs, 2/3 of which will be in administration. The saliency regarding the looming fourth industrial revolution, which indicates that over 1/3 of skills are considered important, will change in the near future, should be addressed. The urgency to create a knowledge-based economy is clearly hampered by our education system. The ratio of maths literacy to maths candidates have changed from 0.9 to 1 in 2008 to 1.5 to 1 in 2016. In the poorest quintile schools, 1 out of 100 matric candidates will receive a maths and science distinction. Just 1 in 3 schools have a library, and 1 in 5 schools have a science laboratory. And the unemployment rate for the tertiary qualified professionals have increased from 7.5% in 2008 to 13.2% today. While maths and science education is poor across the board in South Africa, the quality is worse in the poorest quintile of schools, leaving no doubt that school education is replicating trends of poverty and inequality in our society. The purpose of this budget vote is to realize the potential of science and technology in social and economic development by developing human capacity resources, research, and innovation. The budget increase of 233.3 million rand in real terms mean a decrease of 2.3% when considering inflation and the 1% VAT increase. Funding allocations to the Research, Development and Support Program and Technology Innovation Program is not adequate enough to reach a desired outcome of generating a knowledge-based society for inclusive economic development. The World Economic Forum identifies needed in 2020, such as complex problem-solving skills, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision-making, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. We need to promote and advance initiatives through the Future of Ready curricula, with a large portion of that focusing on STEM education. The spending on research and development of 1% of GDP is needed for science and technology to fulfill a greater role in economic growth, to adequately form the sector, and to increase South Africa's global competitiveness. Government should have a relook at its STI funding model and incorporate flexible legislation to attract and encourage more private sector involvement to address advancements in innovation and technology. Let's be honest, economic freedom is only realized once people have the necessary education and skills to exist in the world. We need more inclusiveness. If we continue with the unemployment situation, particularly youth unemployment, our global society is not sustainable, close quote. And as previously, that needs to be addressed and centered
Thank
around
you.
science and technology. I thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Korenhoff.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. There is no doubt that South Africa is the most important country in Africa. The 5th largest country in Africa, the 9th largest by land area, but by far the most advanced and richest according to the report. Our average wealth per capita banking system, our free media sets South Africa apart from most other African markets. There is no doubt that our Department of Science and Technology is the best in Africa, and it is our duty to grow its importance outside the continent. Without a strong Department of Science and Technology, we shall not bear the fruits of economic growth. Therefore, the calls by many this afternoon to increase the investment by the public and private sector in STI must be supported. The private sector especially can do more. The department already supports various initiatives to grow new industries and to make others safer. The valuable work, the aero industry worldwide is expected to grow to us, Sona's speech. Rapid urbanization is a global trend. 50% of the world population already lives in week. 1.5 million people around the world move into Africa shall need all the science and technology to deal with this. Our cities are home to nearly 60% of South Africa's unemployed. We cannot hesitate or slow down the portfolio of science and technology. Therefore, the future of this department is vital. The Honourable President has indicated that he is planning to merge departments to make government more effective, and that we shall support. But worldwide, there are three models how you deal with science and technology to fit into government. First is the model to up and spread it over various departments. The second model is to link it with higher education. And thirdly, you allow it to stand alone. We have more of the third model. But unfortunately, because of the past, many of science and technology remains are still scattered around in other departments. I'm of the opinion that being the leader on the continent, a standalone department is a good case to fight for, and we will wish the Minister all the best to do that. We must rather add from other departments to grow this department. Science doesn't fall from the sky. It's hard work. For the science scholar, for the engineer, for the department and its entities to make every science and technology rand spent productively. Technology are ruling the world. Six out of the top 10 brands in the world are technology orientated, and they are growing. It's the Apples, the Microsofts, the Googles, Facebook, Amazon. The science of connectivity and the rapid growth come with associated risks. How the information that we create and store, how it can be interpreted with malicious intent is a challenge. South Africa should take care of this. Recently, Facebook shared up to 87 million members' data to a third party in the service of the last United States presidential elections. The role of science and technology can never be underestimated to combat this. The risk is even higher, bearing in mind that 1.1 billion people cannot prove their identity in the world. Several millions of them are in Africa. Science and technology is vital for our future well-being. Malcolm Ferguson reminded us, while we're thinking like a brand, be sure to lead like a human. Because despite the fourth industrial revolution, humans still follow humans. Let's make science and technology cool. Let our pupils queue to study science, and teachers be rewarded to be the best in class. After all, I just respond on the Honourable Lotriet. She made valid remarks about SANSA, and I think the Minister can maybe elaborate on that. But the department is busy working on a new space plan, and I think they will be part of that. So, valid points about that. The Honourable Tembakwayo from the vote. To all the other smaller parties, thank you for your support. You all come here and you ask for more money. You all come here and tell us about the importance of science and technology. We want you in our committee room to strengthen our hand when we're fighting for the same things you have asked today. Thank you very much, and we in the ANC will gladly support this budget vote.
Thank you. Honourable members, let's call the Honourable Minister to respond to the debate.
For the budget vote, and start with Honourable Maseko and Honourable Lotriet about the issue of SANSA. A few weeks ago, I did go and send off ZACUB 2, and as well visit the space weather facility in Hermanus. Despite the challenges in terms of resources, the team that is working in SANSA is doing their best. And I must say that we do have even Honourable Tembekwai, young people who are here with us, the young scientists from CPUT, with us in the gallery today as part of showcasing the work and supporting young people in the country. Again, Honorable Tembekwayo, let me just highlight that Mr. Ntuli was part of our innovation support program. You did write to me a written question. I have responded and deposited it yesterday in Parliament. If you do need some further discussion around the matter, I'm willing to do that. But as to say broadly, we do have a support mechanism for young people. Those who do not have information should ask us so that we can provide and tell them how to do it. But there is support. We are not discriminating. We have platforms that we are encouraging young people to benefit. Honorable Vessel and Honorable Shenwa spoke about the issue of wrong policies that ANC is pursuing. That's why we do not have money. I think one of the things, I'm not so sure, you see, we are in science and technology, and part of what we do is that we base our arguments on research and evidence-based discussion. Now, if you look at research that is available, it will tell you that the policies that we have in intervening, especially dealing with the issues of inequality and poverty, are correct policies. The issue of funding for higher education, the issue of funding for education, the issue of social grants funding, social package, its policies are not a problem. Maybe we should be able to look what are the other issues and commission some more studies to assist us. And that's why we are saying science and technology remains critical to track. And just to emphasize more, look at the work that is being done by CSIR in terms of innovation, and that look at the work that is being done by TIA as well. But again, let me just flag the work that we've done recently, the department partnering with the Chamber of Mines, MEMSA, and the Department of Trade and Industry to transform an underutilized facility in Carlo Road, Johannesburg, into a space where researchers and the mining industry can generate the knowledge and technologies essential for generation mining. This mining precinct is one of the areas that shows that this government, in terms of its beneficiation process, it's on the right track. That's a beneficiation policy that we have as government. Let me just also emphasize, there was an issue around young people. Honorable Tembekwayo, further work that we are doing, we are continuing to expand our work on the MLab initiative beyond Gauteng and the Western Cape. The MLab play a vital role in helping entrepreneurs and SMEs in the ICT sector. So this will assist as well. The young people are looking for opportunities, they will be able to benefit. Another issue just to highlight the work that we are doing in BioVac as the country. BioVac has also secured contracts have attracted foreign direct investment through technology transfers from leading companies such as Sanofi in France, Pfizer in US. So that is part of the work. And the team that is also, they are here. The workers from, who benefited from this plant, who are part of this plant, are here. Maybe let me just name them: Cecile N. McBride, Glenys Adams, Zamatrunu Mchunu, Ngumisa Madu. We are trying to show results. But again, Honorable Maseko and Honorable Mishra spoke about the need for us to increase the work that we are doing in schools. Last month, we launched a 3-kilowatt hydrogen fuel cell at Pualano Secondary School. This is a school in disadvantaged community. Those who know Northwest, in Ventersdorp, Goedgevonnenen. It's closer to the farms, and mainly the farm communities are benefiting. It's a 10 million investment project that we've done there. And just to showcase as well, almost saying what we are doing is not only what we are talking about, the beneficiaries are here with us in the gallery. The principal of the school, Mr. Gerald Mhlanga, deputy principal, Mr. Matlala, school governing body, Mr. Mulalo, are here with us as the beneficiary, because that project is helping children, not only providing electricity, but children are learning about science and technology. And what we did when we were there, we also did some form of a career guidance to showcase the exposure for children so that they can know the careers that are existing in the portfolio. So there are quite a number of initiatives that we can say. Again, around supporting our grassroots innovation, we've done a lot, because we do not only around research and development, but we're providing support in terms of basic service delivery work. We've rolled out some of the beneficiaries from Capricorn Municipality are here with us, Mr. Elias Nkuna, Ms. Motla from Capricorn Municipality, because here we provided, honorable members, access to clean water to the challenges that we have. Another example of the work that we have done and young people that are benefiting, we are also acknowledging the work, working together with Solar Turtle, whose CEO, Ms. Lungi Chali, is with us today. And together with the team members, we see Zwe, Bailey, and Van der Walt. The Solar Turtle has enabled leading banking institutions such as Nedbank to take the services to remote rural areas of the Eastern Cape using portable shipping containers powered by solar panels. And as well, based on the support that we have done and partnering, she's been able to expand her company and now has secured contracts from the European Union to provide these facilities to our neighboring Lesotho. So we're talking about practical things that we are doing as the department. Honorable Matisha spoke about the issue of clean governance. I want to commit as the minister in the executive authority leading the portfolio that under my leadership, the clean governance that is being observed in this portfolio will continue. Because it's very important for us to make sure that we utilize the resources that we have for the right reasons and for what we need to do. Honorable Chairperson, if you can indicate in 2 minutes when my time is about to finish, so that you just don't stop me because it becomes abrupt. Oh, okay, so that I'm able to say what I need to say. Just lastly, Chair, there's quite a number of work that we're doing with global partners. One of them that I need to highlight, the work that we're doing with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations, the European Unions, at SADC, at BRICS. There's quite a number of work that we are doing, investment, almost direct investment that we've seen of 689 million into the portfolio. Hence, it's important for us to continue doing what we are doing and increasing the work that we are doing. Thank you very much, Chairperson. We really appreciate this, and we're looking forward, and we're hoping that EFF, based on what we have responded to them, and the work that we are doing, even around funding, more young people, we're looking at funding, using honors and masters. Surely you want to see these young people getting their doctorate like you. So we hope you will change your mind and support our budget vote.
Thank you. Honorable members, let's thank the Minister for opening the debate and also responding to some of your debates. Let's thank all the members that have participated in the debate and members that attended this mini plenary. And also thank our guests that are in the gallery. Members are reminded that the debate on justice and constitutional development budget vote will take place at 16:15 in the National Assembly chamber. And the debate on social development budget vote will take place at 16:15 in this old assembly chamber. That concludes the debate and the business of the mini plenary session. The mini plenary will now rise.